Hey guys, J Turner Studios. So today is the day we are finally going to do our review on the iPhone XS Max. I've been using the phone since the launch date and I'm actually pretty happy with the purchase. We're going to be touching up on the camera, the video cameras, the apps, turning the phone on and off, the speed, some of everything that I can possibly think of that could help you guys in your decision in making a purchase. I'm not paid by Apple, so of course I'm going to give my honest opinion. I came from a Android, and my first purchase of the iPhone was the iPhone XS Plus, which I still have. And actually I really didn't have to upgrade, to be honest, but of course I really needed the upgrade, not because of the phone, but because of my personal preference and things that I needed. So I'll let you guys know, of course, my honest opinion if you should upgrade from any of the older devices. And I hope you guys like this video. I want you guys to like and subscribe, and I want you to look forward to more videos in the future. We actually have a side-by-side comparison of the iPhone XS Plus versus the iPhone XS Max, and we also have another side-by-side comparison of the iPhone 8 Plus versus the iPhone X Max. So after the video, be sure to hang around, you know, leave some comments if you have any questions. I'll be sure to get back to as many of you as soon as I can. I look forward to doing a lot of reviews for you guys in the future, and I hope you like the video. Alright, so here we have the iPhone XS Max, and then we have the iPhone XS Plus on this side. As you guys can see, what I'm doing right here is showing you guys how similar they are in size. Of course, you have the iPhone XS Plus, which is a 5.5 inch display, and the iPhone XS Max is a 6.5 inch display. So Apple packed a lot of screen into this one, as you all know. This is actually pretty nice to hold in hand. So I mean, this one was already kind of tough to hold in hand and do things one-handed, but this is not going to be the side-by-side comparison, and I'm actually just going to be dealing with the iPhone XS Max for this review. So anyway, what we have here is of course we're going to talk about some of the specs. So as I've said before, this is a iPhone XS Max. It has a Super Retina HD display, 6.5 inches AMOLED screen. This is a HDR display, and it has 2688 by 1242 pixel resolution, a PPI of about 458. Also has True Tone display. It has a 3D. It does have 3D touch. Rated IP68 for maximum depth of 2 meters, up to 30 minutes. And it has the A12 Bionic chip with that neural engine. The camera on the back, of course, is a 12 megapixel wide angle and telephoto camera. It also has a wide angle 1.8 aperture, and the telephoto lens has a 2.4 aperture. 2 times optical zoom, digital zoom up to 10 times, portrait mode, with this new thing where they've introduced this year, the bokeh and depth control. And of course it has portrait lighting. It has a lot. I just say that because the list goes on and on. Of course, a lot of the stuff you personally won't maybe be using, but it's nice to say all this stuff anyway. So anyway, we're going to let's see, we're going to try to get in here with the face unlock, see how quick that is. All right, works pretty good. This is my first time using a facial recognition phone. I think it's a nice transition. It has its pros and its cons. It doesn't work all the time, and like sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night and I try to cut it on, it doesn't really work. But anyway, as you can see, this screen is gorgeous. I mean, just look at it. It's very responsive. The apps open up pretty well. So we're gonna do a comparison of the sound. As you know, the speakers on here, they have stereo speakers on the iPhone XS Max, and of course on here, the speakers aren't as loud as this one. I'll say that. I can't remember exactly what speakers on the 6S Plus, but it puts out a pretty good sound. But anyway, let's listen to it and see if you can tell the sound comparison between the two.
In this moment feels like magic on me. I'm right where I wanna be. I couldn't dream this up, even if I tried.
So there you have it. As I said, these speakers on here are super loud. I mean, the loudest speakers that I've ever had on my cell phone. And of course, like I said, I've come from an Android phone to the iPhone XS Max. My first purchase being the iPhone 6S Plus that you see right there. I'm actually pretty satisfied with this purchase. But as I've said before, the screen is pretty responsive. When you open up the camera, comes up pretty quick. Taking photos is actually pretty cool as well. I'm going to show you guys a couple photos and a couple videos. I'm actually going to upload them. Are recording. It is raining. Just see. Check the phone. Optical image stabilization is working pretty good. We're gonna test it and see how it does as we're driving for a little bit. See, lock your window. Not bad at all. It's actually fairly clear as we're driving. It's not shaking. It's frames keep it pretty good. So the recording is pretty good as far as optical image stabilization goes. Testing the optical image stabilization out in 4K 60 frames per second. Shaking the camera is pretty stable. Colors pretty accurate with everything that I'm actually seeing. The sky is actually kind of gray a little bit on the screen. It has a little bit darker than it actually looks, just a tad bit, not much, but other than that, you can tell that the color is pretty true to what the camera is showing. Everything is almost instantaneous as far as movement of everything. Of course, it's raining. Detail looks pretty good. Clarity. See what's on right there. let's see, we'll go up in here and we shall show some of our portrait photos that we've already taken. Like here you have a portrait photo, and of course we will adjust the bokeh on here, and I'll show you what is new on here. Of course, when you're adjusting, as you can see right here, the star set f4.5, and if you look at the background when you go lower, it just blurs everything out. And then when you take it up higher, you can basically make it to where there's nothing blurred out in the background, which is actually a pretty cool feature. The Samsung Galaxy Note actually does this, but I honestly personally think just from testing out the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 that, in my personal opinion, this is actually pretty better. Usually, of course, as you all know, Apple comes late with a lot of things that they do to the phone, and even though that they come late, they kind of do it better than the other companies. I hate to say it. I don't, I'm not trying to endorse Apple or anything, but most times when they do things, they do come back and do it better. You can see so much more on here when you pull things up. Like, let's see here. We'll do ESPN.com. We'll try it on both phones just so you can see how much more you can see versus the iPhone 6s Plus, and the difference that it makes. Like I said, this is a 5.5 inch display, and so as you can see right here, I mean, if I just put them like right beside each other, you see how much more you can see. I mean, it's not really like a huge difference, but just in my opinion, there's so much more that you can see versus like on here. Personal experience with this phone has been pretty good. Of course, when you swipe down on the right, you have the control panel, and then of course when you swipe down on the left, you have your notifications. Don't pay any attention to that, that's personal. So, but anyway, as I've said, the phone is pretty responsive. The internet issues, as far as like connectivity, I don't know if I've been reading a lot, and I've seen people have problems with it. They've been complaining about it. I haven't really noticed any issues. I have had problems with my service, but of course I have service with Verizon Wireless, and of course I think they've had, just over the past couple of days, some connectivity issues. Anyway, the front facing camera, let's see how that looks. Even in a portrait mode, let's see. So if we take a picture, let's see. Try to get some in the background, blur it out. All right. So we'll go up in here and edit this photo, see what it looks like. Okay, edit, see if it lets us draw anything out. All right, as you can see here, see what it does. Yeah, you really can't tell. It kind of takes out the, I guess you can say, the camera a little bit. I don't know, it's not really much of a difference. It's kind of like a hit or miss thing, but overall the camera works very well. Apple said that with the new chip, of course, it performs a lot of different tasks at once. I think up to 12 million. So like I said, it really all boils down to personal preference. I don't really know what else to show you guys. Like, I can't really just open up apps. The apps open up pretty fast for me. Almost every app that I use. So I can't just go one by one and open them up and show you guys. I mean, personally, they open good. Even on the iPhone 6s Plus, they still open good after you update to iOS 12. So we're gonna go back to what I think of the phone personally. I don't really know what else I can possibly say about it, but to give my personal opinion on it. So here we go. So there you have it, guys. My personal review of it. Of course, I still have a lot to talk about. It's a little bit sloppy, you know. I'm still trying to work on it, get the feel of this YouTubing thing. So like I said, videos will get better over time. Now, my personal opinion on if you should switch from an older device. If you're coming from the iPhone 10, I don't personally think that this is enough to switch. As you all know, the iPhone 10 is no longer being sold. That's simply because the iPhone 10s is practically the same phone with just maybe a couple of updated specs, but not really. I don't even think there's really a difference at all, to be honest, especially with the optimization that iOS 12 brings. If you're coming from an iPhone 8, I kind of still don't think that you should upgrade, if you ask me, because it's still not giving you like a big leap ahead as far as technology and everything else that it has. Now, if you're coming from the iPhone 7 or lower, like I said, it kind of depends on personal preference. Do you want to upgrade? Like, what do you need it for? You really have to think of those things when you're trying to decide to make a purchase on this phone. So, like I said, my personal opinion, if it's a iPhone 8 or lower, I don't think you should do anything as far as upgrading. Me personally, everything else works perfect on iOS 12, and that's just what it is. So I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, ask, and I'll be sure to answer everything I can. All right, take care. Jay Turner Studios out. Peace.